back to Food Prep Guide. Today's video is the first of its kind on this channel. We are going to do a monthly grocery haul. If you're new here, welcome, hello. If you have been here for a while, you know that I only shop once monthly. It's a very strict rule of mine. Yes, we might run out of a few things at the end of the month, but oh well, we're not going to the store. I'm pretty strict about that. And some of you have been asking or just wondering, what does that look like to only shop once a month? What do we have in our pantry? Especially in light of knowing, if you've been with us for a while, you know our goals of moving away from the grocery store. And what does that look like? How does that impact what we buy each month? So today we're going to be going over all of those things. I have watched many grocery haul videos over the years, and the ones that I have found most helpful are the ones that work in tips on saving money or stretching meals or telling me why a specific thing was bought or what it's going to be used for, and just overall like saving money and ultimately decreasing dependency on the grocery store. So I'm going to do my best to kind of address those things as we move through each of these items. I've got everything laid out in categories like produce, dairy, meat, grains, that kind of thing. So stay tuned. We're going to go through all of that. Before we dig into that, I think it's important to go through some parameters about our family, like things that would help you put into perspective what this monthly grocery haul represents. Things about our family, things about our goals, and how much it costs, things like that. So if you're new here, we are a family of 5, and a couple of years ago we decided to start the process of moving away from grocery store dependence. Not shopping weekly anymore, not just hopping into the grocery store whenever we feel like it for random things when we run out. Learning to make do with what we have, learning to make do with growing things in the garden and preserving it and using those things. I think when I first started kind of preserving food, it was easy to dehydrate it or can it or blanch it and freeze it, and it was easy for it to stay there, like to stay on the shelf or to stay in the freezer and not actually actively get used from week to week and month to month. So that's been a transition as well, making sure that we put everything that we preserve to good use, everything that we grow to good use, to overall decrease our monthly grocery budget and just how dependent we are on the grocery store. That is a long-term goal. We are nowhere near, as you can see, we are nowhere near that point, but we have made significant progress. Every year I choose one category of food items to focus on eliminating from my monthly grocery budget. This past year, it was all of our pickle products and all of our tomato products. We met our goal with all of our pickle products, so like pickle spears, slices, relishes, things like that. We met our goal for that, a year's supply, no longer buying that from the grocery store. We almost met our tomato product goal. We were able to put up a bunch of all the pasta sauce and pizza sauce that we will need all year, but I still wanted to do some things like barbecue sauce, and I did can barbecue sauce, but I wasn't able to do that from my homegrown tomatoes. I had to purchase tomato sauce from the store to do that. And there are a couple of other little things here and there that we weren't able to meet, but we made significant progress, and I'm excited about that. I will talk to you about my goal for 2024. What category am I going to be eliminating from what you see here, and just plans for how I'm going to make that happen and all of that. Okay, so those are our goals, and that's kind of the perimeters of what you can expect of why you're going to see what you're going to be seeing. So let's talk about budget. Everything that we see here and that you'll see in the video, I'm not showing, this screen can't show everything. I've got a whole bunch of stuff over on this side too. But it was $386.83 for a family of 5 for a full 30 to 31 day window of food. But there were a couple of things that the store was out of that I am going to need in order to put my meal plan in place. And other things like paper products, that's another thing. Our grocery budget includes our paper products that we use on a regular basis, like toilet paper, paper towel, Ziploc bags, and even like dishwasher tablets. But I don't need those things every single month. So that kind of fluctuates. In general, our grocery budget is around $450 a month. 2 years ago, our grocery budget was $350 a month, and I was able to keep it at that and get everything we needed on a routine basis. Because of inflation, I'm still buying the exact same things. I haven't increased what I'm buying, but the price has increased. So my budget has now had to increase to $450 every now and then when I have to get cat food and dog food and dishwasher tablets and paper, you know, all of that lands in 1 month, it can bump up to $500. But in general, we're in that $400-ish range. So $386.83 for this month's grocery haul, but we were missing 2 packages of Sargento cheddar cheese, which we really need for our homemade cheese, which we really need for our homemade pizzas, and that would have been $7. Our huge pack of toilet paper would have been $16, and 2 jars of Duke's mayonnaise would have been $9, which would have added $32 to our total. So if everything had been in stock, the toilet paper, the Sargento, and the mayonnaise, our grocery budget would have been $418 for the month, and that would have included everything that we needed for the month. Okay, I think that's it. Let's hop into the grocery haul. Welcome to Food Prep Guide. My name is Jordan. I'm a homeschooling mom to 3, living on 3 beautiful acres with my wonderful husband. A health crisis forced our family to change the way we think about food. Unfortunately, it also put us in financial hardship. Thankfully, the solution to both challenges was the same: to live off the land as much as possible. For us, that means growing a garden, preserving the harvest, raising chickens, and cooking from scratch. It's definitely a family affair. And friends, too. Meet Stacy, researcher, author, and lifelong learner. She entered the world of food preservation in the crazy days of 2020. She joined a gleaning co-op, and a local grocer offered her clearance produce in bulk, and so the adventure began. Together, we're reclaiming the old ways of food stewardship and teaching them to the next generation. If there's one thing you should know about us, it's that we love Jesus and seek to steward his blessings wisely. Our table always has room for one more, so y'all come join us. Okay, so like I said, I kind of categorized everything. So here is the fresh produce section. We always, every single month, we get bananas, apples, and these little mandarin oranges. And this will typically last 2.5 to 3 weeks, usually 3 weeks, which means there's a week at the end of each month when we run out of all this fresh produce, and that's when we turn to our canned goods and stuff like that. This is mainly my children's lunches paired with some dairy and some rolled up meat and maybe some crackers or something like that. So when we run out of those types of things, that's when we turn to our pickles in the pantry, our canned fruit that we canned from the garden, some canned, we love a pineapple zucchini. It's zucchini, but it tastes just like pineapple. Our cubed and canned pears, pear chunks, pear slices, those kind of things. Dehydrated apples, you know, those are the types of things that we work in when all of this is gone at the end of the month. Some yellow onions. I did not get to put up all of my yearly needs for onions this year. We had a Mr. Armadillo visit the garden, and he had his way with the onions. So that kind of ruined those plans. So I am having to buy a bag of yellow onions each week, but I did reach my goal for red onions, so I no longer have to buy red onions. I used to have 1 bag of red onions, 1 bag of yellow every single month, and I've been able to eliminate red onions this past year, and I'm really thankful for that. Next, we have salad mix-ins, salad fix-ins, I guess you could say. I love, love, love Taylor Farms sweet kale chopped kit. It has pumpkin seeds, dried cranberries, and it's usually like a poppy seed dressing, which isn't my favorite, but I do like it. But broccoli, kale, cabbage, shredded Brussels sprouts, and I just really love this package. It's not, since it is, anytime you're buying, I mean, you know this, anytime you're buying something that's convenient, like already packaged for you and cut up, it's going to cost more, and I don't usually buy stuff like that. Like you're going to see in this haul, you won't see a whole lot of that. But I just really love this packet. So what I do is I usually buy 1 or 2 of these, and then I will make it stretch with what we grow in the garden. I'll make it stretch with some, just some heads of broccoli. If it's during a season when I don't have fresh greens, and I'll buy a head of lettuce, or I'll buy an extra thing of kale, just depending on what we have going on in the green stalk garden and the in-ground garden. And then we stock and store shelf-stable salad toppings in bulk, so I don't have to purchase those things on a regular basis. We also grow things and preserve them. So for instance, the red onions that we grew this year, those were all either dehydrated or freeze-dried, and those go in my salads. And then we purchase pumpkin seeds and dried cranberries in bulk. And sometimes I'll put some like chopped cashews or something like that in them. That's stocked in bulk. And then I will usually do a combination of making my own dressings based off just what I have on hand, but you'll also see in a minute that I really love Olive Garden dressing. I should have put that over here in this category, but I usually get a bottle of that too because I really, really like it. Okay, so that is it for the fresh produce. You'll notice probably a lot of things missing as far as your normal, typical American family eating with fruits and vegetables. And if it's missing, that typically means that that is something that we preserve. And we have a lot of fruit and vegetables, and actually vegetables that we grow that we flavor into fruit, like I said, with those pineapple and the apple, like zucchini and stuff like that. And we dehydrate a lot of vegetables, a lot of vegetables. So for our fresh produce needs, this is all we typically need for a month. Okay, I'm going to bring you now to the dairy section. Let's make sure you've got a good view. Okay, so let's start over here with the cheese. Like I said, we are missing the Sargento, I cannot say that word today, Sargento cheddar cheese and this mozzarella cheese. I only buy one bag of each, and this is our specialty high quality cheese that is dedicated to homemade pizza night. I have to hide it from the family so it doesn't accidentally get used in our regular cooking and meals and such. But I like to purchase a higher quality cheese for pizza night because, I mean, cheese makes pizza, right? You have bad cheese, you have bad pizza. And pizza night is a very frugal meal for us because I make the pizza dough, we grow and can the sauce for the pizza sauce, and we use all of our dehydrated vegetables and things for the toppings. I will rehydrate those, and that'll be the toppings. So for pizza night, which is every other Friday, the only thing I have to purchase is the cheese. And then if we want meat, which I'll show you in a minute what I'm talking about, I might need to buy a certain type of meat for it, but we will often do a veggie pizza with nothing on it, or we'll do a shredded chicken pizza with like barbecue sauce, and that's from our canned pantry as well. We don't purchase that. That's something that we may have purchased a long time ago when it was just rock bottom prices and canned a bunch of it, or even processing our own chickens. So that's that. And then here is our regular cheese. We typically go through 3 bags of, we get the Fiesta blend, just the super cheap Walmart brand kind, and that's the type of cheese that we will use on a regular basis for like taco night, quesadillas, you know, just anything, topping chilies and stuff like that. And then I get 1 bag. I used to need 3 bags of string cheese to get us through the month, but I've been trying to decrease dairy intake for my children. None of them have sensitivities to it, but I just want to decrease it a little bit. So we have slowly worked our way down to only needing 1 bag of 36 count of string cheese to get us through the month for my children. And that does typically last them all month. So next is cream cheese. We always typically get 4 double packs of cream cheese. So what's that? 8 boxes total of cream cheese. And we use cream cheese in all sorts of things. We even have a cream cheese chili. It's like a keto chili. It doesn't have beans in it, and it's low carb, higher on your fats, like your cream cheese. And it's really delicious. But we use cream cheese in a lot of ways. A lot of pasta sauces, casseroles, just lots. And bagels, which we'll see in a minute. Bagels is a weekend treat for my kids. So we always have like a bagels on Saturday afternoon for them, or Sunday morning. Saturday morning or Sunday morning for them, they have bagel treat because we do oats every other day of the week. So that's that. And then we need 3 to 4 tubs of sour cream to get us through the month. It's basically 1 tub per week is what gets us through the month. And again, we put sour cream on a whole bunch of stuff. We do a Tex-Mex Tuesday every single Tuesday, so a lot of the sour cream is used for that, but we also use sour cream to make a lot of our homemade sauces because we really like those creamy, like a white cheesy type sauces. We'll do marinara, pesto, things like that, but we really like the sour cream based sauces. Next is the milk, and we actually need 3 gallons of milk to get us through the month, but I somehow ended up with 1 gallon left over from last month. I guess we just drank less milk last month, so I only needed 2 gallons of milk, but typically we do need 3 gallons of milk to get us through the month. Next is butter. I always get 3 to 4 double packs of butter, so that's 6 to 8 cartons of butter, which is 4 sticks in each one. I mean, butter, what more do we say about butter? We use it for all sorts of things. If y'all have seen me talk about roux and stuff, you know that butter is a significant role in that, and of course just regular cooking. I need 3 to 4 almond milks for my, I drink a smoothie every single morning, and I use almond milk for that. I like the unsweet vanilla flavored almond milk, and I would normally need 4 half gallons for a month. Again, I had 1 left over from last month, and I'm not really sure how, maybe that was in our vacation. Our vacation may have played a role in this month's grocery haul, if I come to think about it. That's probably why we had 1 less milk and 1 less almond milk. But anyway, 3 to 4 almond milks get us through the month on that, and that takes care of all of our dairy needs. Dairy is something that I wish I could eliminate from the store, but I don't think it's realistic for us to ever eliminate that because I don't see a dairy cow in our future. It's just, I just don't see that happening. Maybe, you know, like a 10 years down the road plan, but a dairy cow is not in our future anytime in the near future that I know of. Man may direct his steps, but the Lord directs his path, right? So who knows? But okay, let's move on to our grains section here. Okay, let's start back here. So like I said, Saturday mornings and sometimes Sunday mornings is a treat for my kiddos because we do oats almost every single other day. We like to have cinnamon, raisin, blueberry, and plain. And I'm going to talk about that in just a second. I'm going to talk about this whole section. This is my 2024 eliminate from the grocery store, so we'll talk about that in just a second. If y'all saw our video recently on ways to, the things that I buy specifically at the grocery store to then lower my overall grocery budget, you will know that I stock taco shells and burrito shells all the time. We will probably go through 2 to 3 packs a month, but I do stock these in bulk whenever I find a good sale. They're not on a good sale this month, so I only bought 2. But I do still have some in the freezer, and whenever we use one, I like to replace it so that I'm not depleting the stock on that. Same thing for burritos. These are for repurposing leftovers, which is a fantastic money-saving thing that has just really blessed our family, and turning leftovers into something that people actually want to eat. Put it in a taco shell, sprinkle it with some cheese and sour cream, and you have some leftovers that are not boring and that people actually want to eat. Next, we have bread. We do not get wheat bread, but that's what they gave me. I do pickup orders instead of like going into the store. We are a 1-car family, which my husband uses for work, and my sweet mama once a month comes and picks up my groceries for me and brings them to me on the Walmart pickup order. So anyway, they got this wrong. We do like honey wheat is what we typically purchase. We need 4 loaves of bread to get us through the month. And once again, I had a loaf in the freezer, so I only ordered 3. I'm probably going to have to find a way to get these back to the store because we do not like wheat bread. Okay, let's talk about this section here. In 2024, this is my goal to eliminate everything you see here, except I think the taco shells, but eliminate what you see here from the grocery store. The reason why is because we already stock baking supplies in bulk. I already know how to make most of everything here, so why not try to figure out how to work that into my routine? And what has stopped me from meeting that goal so far is that if I'm going to invest time to make all of these things homemade, I want it to be sourdough. Now, that complicates things. If you've, made sourdough before, it's very hard to batch sourdough. And if you've been with us for a while, you know I am like the queen of batching. If it can be batched, I'm going to batch it, which means I'm going to, set aside a day and I'm going to do only that like for hours on straight and then not have to do that again for 1, 2, 3, 4 months, depending on sometimes even a whole year if it's a canning project. But that's hard to do with sourdough. It's a multi-step process, and I am working on a once a month bulk sourdough routine. And I am trying to make all of our bread needs, all of our bagel needs, and some of our like pastry, not pastry, like cookies, like desserts, cookies type needs. I want to switch all of that over to sourdough if I'm going to be making it myself. It's just, I appreciate the health benefits of sourdough. We at one time were a gluten-free family, not my husband, but me and my kids. I had to be gluten-free for health reasons. I do no longer have to be gluten-free now, and we have obviously worked gluten back into our diet, but it's not something that, it's not like the main ingredient in every meal. We try to make 2 meals a day completely gluten-free, and then our supper meals will typically have something like tortilla shells, or if it's on the weekend, they'll have that for breakfast, and our lunch and suppers will be gluten-free. So that kind of thing. So basically, one meal out of the day might have some kind of grain in it, but then the others don't. And that's just kind of the general goal when I'm meal planning, is to make that happen. But I have not perfected, there's no such thing as perfection, but I have not nailed down the once a month sourdough routine. I am trying, testing, researching, and I feel like there's a way to make it happen. And Lord willing, I'm going to make it happen. And when I do, I will bring that video to you, because I think that would be an awesome, fun thing to know, to be able to do sourdough just once a month and produce all of this. I think that would be awesome, except for the tortillas. I don't think it's going to be worth it. I don't know. We'll see. I think I'm just going to continue buying those. They're so cheap. They're not terrible, terrible, terrible as far as ingredients goes. It could be way better, but it's just not terrible. And Mama needs really quick things. You know what I mean? I need something quick in the pantry. I'm sure you do too, to just whip up a meal when I don't feel like cooking, or when I'm sick, or like I said, repurposing leftovers. So 2024 goals, y'all. 2024 goals. Okay, next we're going to move into like our, what would you call this? Like our processed foods that we need for, or ingredients that I need for specific meals. So everything that you've seen so far is just scratch cooking basics, right? Your produce, your dairy, your meats, your grains, things that we need to cook from scratch. But these are some things that I need just for specific items. So I mentioned the salad dressing. I love this stuff. I will make my own salad dressings when this runs out, but I love grabbing a bottle of this. It just feels like a treat for my salads every now and then. This is another thing that is going to go in the bread area that I'm going to eliminate from our grocery haul in 2024. Another thing is pizza dough. I did eliminate that. I started making that several months ago, and I have been able to consistently produce a routine where I can make all of the pizza dough that we need for our twice monthly pizza crust. And this is another one that I want to cut from the list, is crescent rolls. We use this for chicken pot pie. Chicken pot pie is a very frugal meal for us, because we use our canned chicken that was canned off of mega sale, you know, at some point just throughout the year. And then I make our own cream of chicken soup, cream of celery soup. I make all of that from scratch. And then we use our dehydrated vegetables, or canned goods, canned vegetables, like mixed vegetable medley or something like that, for the filling. So the only thing that I have to put on my grocery list for chicken pot pie is these 2 crescent rolls. And I have that goal of making this from scratch as well. It is so easy. I just have to find somewhere to work it into my routine. But once I do that, chicken pot pie will become essentially like a free meal for us. So I'm really looking forward to that. I need to make that happen. Next is Rotel. This isn't something that we buy very often, but every now and then I will work 1 to 2 meals into my monthly meal plan. And Rotel really makes the meal. The one that I'm thinking of right off the top of my head is the keto chili. It needs a can of Rotel, and sometimes I'll double it so I can have some more to freeze for later, and then I would use 2 cans. But that keto chili recipe would not be the same without Rotel. Normally, if I have a meal, and this is like a money saving tip, if I have a meal that I need to purchase 1 ingredient for, or even 2 ingredients for, I will change that ingredient so that I don't have to purchase anything for that meal. And typically, if a meal needs Rotel and I have all the other ingredients, I'm just going to swap out diced tomatoes for it. I'm not going to go buy a can of Rotel. But this month we have keto chili on the meal plan, And like I said, it just makes it so. Rotel. Next is Parmesan. We do spaghetti night every month. That's just a meal that goes on the meal plan. I don't even have to think about it. I know we're going to have a once monthly spaghetti night, and we need some Parmesan. And one canister will typically last 2 months for that. So, because sometimes we actually do spaghetti night twice a week sometimes. And it's not always spaghetti. It might be like a baked spaghetti. It might be just another marinara based pasta dish. But regardless, if it's a marinara pasta dish, then we're going to top it with Parmesan. And then cereal. So cereal is another thing that I keep on hand for the weekends, special treat. That's not oats. And normally we need 2 to sometimes 3 boxes of cereal to get us through the month for the kids, 3 kids eating that on the weekends. But we've been able to decrease that with our granola making. And I'm hoping to completely eliminate this from our meal plan within the next 2 or 3 months as my children get used to swapping out store-bought cereal for our homemade granola. And they really enjoy it. And it's just a matter of mama keeping on top of keeping it in stock and keeping it made. But we have a video on that, by the way. If you're interested, check that out. I will try to link that in the description box below, our homemade granola recipe. Okay, I think last but not least is going to be our meat section. So let me get you over here. I think you can see everything. Oh yeah, chips. I forgot to mention the chips. We have 2 bags of chips typically each month for our Tex-Mex night and just for random dips that we might snack on throughout the month. We make a homemade onion soup, like a Lipton onion soup mix that we mix into sour cream. And you can just get cleaner ingredients that way when you make it yourself, and we will snack on that sometimes. It's just a quick little snack when we're craving something a little bit salty. Okay, so meats. Let's start back here. Burger patties. Burger patties is something that I purchase for convenience. I almost always have, whoops, sorry, I hit my camera, it's kind of shaking. I almost always have a package of burgers in my monthly haul as a quick convenience meal on the weekends. I want to keep at least 1 or 2 packages of something in the freezer that I can just throw, or not even me, my husband or my kids can just throw on a pan or in a skillet, pop it in the oven, or cook it on the stovetop and be done. And that's why I always purchase a packet of burgers. Every now and then I'll do chicken nuggets instead, or one of each, just depending on how busy the month is looking. Next, I need a 5-pound chub of ground beef to get us through the month. Yes, we do eat more beef-based dishes, but one thing that I have found is I will divide this up into 5-pound packages. I'm going to be freezing them individually. And one thing that works out well is you'll see 4, can you see that over there? Where is it? Yeah, right here, you can see that. The 4 pounds of ground turkey. And I will mix this with a little bit of the ground beef, sometimes only half a pound, just to get a little bit of the, ground turkey is super, super lean, and as such, it doesn't have a ton of flavors in the fat. I mean, it just is. And pairing just a little bit of the ground beef with the ground turkey kind of helps that. I will also, if you've been with us for a while, you know we're big on ground venison, and we can it in such a way to make it taste more like beef. And we actually need to make the ground venison stretch too, because we use it as a meal stretcher for stretching beef, but then I'll also stretch venison with some turkey every now and then, because we need our venison to last until hunting season the next year. And depending on how many deer we get, like right now, I have one lonely, sad jar of ground venison on my shelf, which I just consider ground beef because it tastes like beef. But it is hunting season, and Lord willing, we won't be getting some deer soon. But that's why we can get by with only getting 5 pounds of beef for the whole month, is because we are working in ground venison, we're working in ground turkey. So yes, and then let's see, our deli meat. So I keep a package of honey ham and a package of rotisserie seasoned chicken breasts. I do the 1-pound tubs, so we get 2-pound tubs of deli meat on hand, and that is for 2 reasons. One, if I don't have enough of our supper leftovers to send to lunch with my husband the next day, then I will send him with a deli meat sandwich. So that takes care of my husband's lunches, but normally the vast majority of his lunches are just leftovers from the night before. And also, my children's lunches are largely like homemade Lunchables. I'll just roll up 2 or 3 slices of deli meat, normally 2 slices. I'll roll them up, make like a long little roll on it, and have some cheese and crackers and fruit and vegetables and so stuff like that. So that's like a lunch type thing. And then for breakfast on the weekends, we have maple sausage is my husband's absolute favorite. I have this mild sausage to make. I'm going to try a new cowboy. Oh, what is it called? It's like cowboy queso something. It was a hot dip that you do in the crock pot, and it uses a mild sausage, and I'm really excited to try that. So that's what I got the mild sausage for. But mainly we like the maple sausage. And then smoked sausage. This is a pizza topping. I only need half of a package for one of our really large pizzas, and I'll dice it up really small so that it can sprinkle around the entire pizza so that pretty much every bite someone's getting a little chunk of. When I say someone, I'm mainly thinking about my husband. He's the big meat eater in the family. We all eat meat, of course, but he's a meat and potatoes kind of guy, and I'll just like to make sure he has, some meat in every bite so it feels more meaty, it feels more filling, even though it's a pizza and it's a very frugal meal and a meat stretcher meal. Just cutting it up really small, sprinkling it over the whole thing kind of makes it feel like it's not a stretcher style meal. So one package will last for 2 pizzas. And then we have 2 packages of bacon to get us through the month. So together with the sausage, we do breakfast for supper on Friday nights. So of course there's 4 weeks in a month, which means I need 4 items for breakfast night. And we do 2 packages of bacon and 2 packages of sausage. And we alternate. We'll have bacon one Friday, and then the next Friday we'll do like a sausage based breakfast thing for supper on Friday nights. Let me turn this a little bit. Okay, so chicken. Every now and then I will still buy a tray of chicken breast, even though I've actually started working that out of my meal plan, because I have found that these bags right here of the chicken leg quarters, this bag is $7 and it is a 10-pound bag. Now, of course, you got to factor in the weight of the bones, so it's definitely not as much meat as in a tray of chicken breast, but it is so much cheaper. And I find that I'm able to use that a lot more to stretch meals than I can with this, because this is usually cut into chunks and used in different ways, but this I can put it in a crock pot and shred it, and I just feel like I can stretch meals better with this, and it's just so much cheaper. So, but I got a package of chicken breast this month because we're going to be making our favorite rich chicken casserole and our favorite chicken and rice dish twice. We're going to do those twice this month, and I really do prefer the chicken breast for that as opposed to that. Shredded doesn't really work as good in those meals as cubed up pieces of chicken for that. So that's what that's for. And then I think I did mention the ground turkey. So that's it, y'all. Let me get y'all set up and let's chat about it. Okay, y'all, so that's what about $400 worth of groceries looks like for a family of 5 for a full month. One thing that I really struggled with when we first made the decision to move away from the grocery store, to grow a lot more, to raise a lot more, to preserve a lot more, was I had a hard time picturing what does that look like? What does the end goal of that look like? And what does the transition phase look like from shopping weekly to doing once a month and it getting less and less each month? And I think when I was going through grocery haul videos, I was actively searching out people who had those same goals as I did of trying to be less dependent on the grocery store, stretching meals dramatically, having as low of a grocery budget as possible, but also eliminating processed foods in a lot of ways. And it was kind of hard to find things like that. And that was one reason Stacy had the idea to do the grocery haul video, and I wholeheartedly jumped on that because I think being able to see an example of what it looks like to slowly move away from the grocery store. What are you buying each month? Even if someone is growing a lot of food and is preserving a lot of food, what do they still have to buy at the grocery store and still do it as cheaply and inexpensively as possible? And that's what this grocery haul is. At least I hope so. At least I hope it provided some ideas for you if those are some of the same goals that you have. But even if not, I hope the tips and things about stretching meals and seeing how different things are used was helpful to you. I personally, this is like really satisfying for my OCD-ness to see all this food categorized, and I can see that we are mostly funneling our grocery money into fresh produce, dairy, grains, which 2024, Lord willing, that's going to be gone. Some of those processed things that we need for just a few handful of meals, and meat. I don't think we're ever going to be able to eliminate our dairy, and I don't think we're going to be able to eliminate our fresh produce, because fresh produce is just not, I can't grow fresh all year round without preserving it to make it last, all year round. So I don't think we're ever going to be able to fully eliminate things like bananas, apples, oranges, things like that. And the only other thing, I don't think we're going to fully be able to eliminate our meat. I do want to transition away from grocery store meat. So we have a goal. I don't think it's going to be 2024's goals. We already have mega big goals for 2024. So I think maybe I'll slate that for 2025's goal is to move away from buying grocery store meat and purchasing from local farms, like a whole cow, and or going in with another family and just getting half a cow. That's probably more realistic, is half a cow, and canning it up, freezing it up, freeze drying some, just putting it in different forms and using it that way. Same with a pig. I don't think we would need a whole pig, maybe half a pig for our bacon and sausage needs. I would really love to do that. So I think eventually this category of meat might be able to decrease. Every year we learn more about processing our own chickens. Up until this point, up until last year really, and even still, our primary focus for chickens is just eggs and joy. We love them. My children love them. They just bring a lot of joy just watching them and raising them from chicks, and we eat a lot. Oh, y'all, we eat a lot of eggs, because that's another way to decrease the grocery budget. When you raise chickens, you have some free eggs. Not free, you gotta feed the chickens, so it does cost something, but we eat a lot of eggs. So we are just now kind of getting to that point where we are processing birds and canning them up and then using them in our meals. We actually have a video coming up soon on that, because we had to process 6 roosters this past weekend. It was not a fun day, but we did it, and I need to get that canned up, and I'm going to show y'all how to raw pack chicken, and we're going to use our roosters for that are in the fridge right now, waiting for me to can them. But anyway, maybe someday we can get rid of our chicken needs as well by just processing our own chickens, but I don't know. That's going to take some time and some research, because we're going to have to switch breeds and all that. And anyway, I'm rambling. I hope this was helpful to y'all, and if you like seeing this the grocery haul style video, could you please let us know in the comments below. I don't want to keep on doing this every month if it's not helpful to you, or if you're not excited about seeing it. So if you like grocery haul videos, please let me know in the comments below, and we will use that to kind of judge what are the different types of videos that we do in the future. Okay, y'all, we'll see you next time. Bye.